but it's 10,000 pfund, and if I don't pay in tomorrow, then it'll be very bad. Yosef was his name, yes, Yosef. He said, Yosef, rette me. You know what rette is? Save me. Yosef, rette me. And they'll sell me. You know that I have a lot of property, but the money I haven't got. You know that I'll give you back the money. And you know that I cannot give you any guarantee because everything was mortgaged. There wasn't one thing that was ours. So he said, all right, Szlapak, I'll give him a gira. That means, I'll go and I will sign for you. He took him into the bank and he said to the banker, please, so-and-so, give Szlapak 10,000 gira. He said, Mr. Drevsky, you're mad? 10,000 pounds, he said. Szlapak owes all the world. He said, never mind. He will pay me. I'm giving him 10,000 pounds. He will pay me.
Sure.
He saved us. I don't remember what it was, but it was really something terrible. Felderevsky gave him the 10,000 pounds. He paid off. And he was struggling, couldn't be harder. You have no idea how it was. But at one time it was with so many mortgages that he said to Charles, Charles, help me. Charles said, okay, Daddy, I'll help you, but you have to give me a word that you're not buying anymore. Then I'll try and I'll clean you up. Charles went in the business and he did a lot, he did this, he did that. He got people to rent and he changed the style. He helped him. And at one time, I see a lorry with full of vegetables. I say to the driver, where are you going with these vegetables? He said, Mom, you don't know? We have another hotel. I said, what hotel? He said, here, not far, it's the Gaylord's Hotel. Charles find out. I didn't tell him, but he find out. He said, Daddy, you gave me a word that you are not buying anything else. I cleaned you up, and I'm cleaning you still. If you buy more, so I will never be able to clean you up, and I haven't got a profession. And if you go bankrupt, what is becoming of me? In that case, I'm going back to study to England. I begged him. Abram begged him, nothing doing. He packed his things, he's going back to England to study. He's going to study business management and law. And Abram remained, and he did what he wanted. This hotel, really, I told Charles, really, this is, he bought the Gaylord Hotel, that he pays rent for a year. He bought for 14,000 pounds. After the year, you will account all the rent you will take off from that. In the meantime, all the year he gets rent. And it doesn't cost him anything. The rent he takes off from the purchase price. It was a bargain. You couldn't, and it was from the doctor that she told him, smell my combination. It was a doctor, he was with all the Jewish people mixed up. I knew him. He couldn't resist. He bought it. Charles didn't want to listen. Er hat sich aufgegeben und also weggefahren nach England. He went into a university and he started to study.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, Abraham got very unwell. He had something to do with his heart. He went to England and he stayed in Charles. In the meantime, he bought himself a flat in a very beautiful flat. And Abraham gave him the money. Abraham was very good to Charles. He went away, he didn't even want to sort of pay him back that he had done such a things, to leave him in the middle and not help him. Because to him it was, now he can do what he wants. If I talked to him, he didn't care. I used to say, but my God, when will you stop? You owe so many mortgages. How can you be so? It's impossible. And I was, at one time I said, you know what? When he bought that place that I told you, he bought a hotel that it was the RAF, it was in the war. The RAF occupied it, and he couldn't go and see it, but the agent said, it's a good buy, and he explained him what it is and how much it is, and he said, yes, I'm buying. Then I find out that, and he didn't tell me. But I find out later. So I said, in that case, what will that mean? Say tomorrow you go bankrupt. How will I educate the children? How will they give me something in my hand? I said, I have to have something in my hand. What I will have, I know I will look after it, and I will not, I couldn't lose it. Because I know, and I will not take other things. I bought in Shooter a house, and I also made a mortgage. And he bought me a house in Mombasa, a silly house that it is on the land from the government, but you build this, but I bought the house on the government land. But if they need it, they give you a month's notice, you have to go. Then I got so cross that he bought and he didn't ask me. So he said, okay, I buy you this house, so you have that in your hand. And we went for a holiday, and he gave me something else, so take this in your hand, and stop crying. And he said, don't tuck me the fliglen, don't cut my wings, let me fly. So he didn't care what I told him, and I was frightened. He did what he wanted, but for Charles, he went away if he didn't listen to him. Anyway, we came to England. Yes, so you bought me that house, and I bought it also with a mortgage, and I became also a gambler. When I had the start, I bought with very little money the Tudor, then I subdivided, and I rented, and I built another 2 flats, and Morris came from the university, and I said, I've got a mortgage for 10 years, and he said, but Mommy, 10 years, when you will pay off? I said, we'll pay off, the rent will pay off. And then when I sold 2 flats in Tudor, they were developed by, before I sold, I heard in Mombasa you can buy land. I bought the land in Mombasa, this money I put there. I never sold anything before I didn't invest. Anyway, Charles went away, and Abraham wasn't well, and we came to the doctor, and he said, yes, it's a heart attack. We stayed with Abraham, and Morris was already a doctor. We came back to Nairobi, and Kayla grew up and finished the university. She finished high school, and she was going to Israel to study. And I went with her to Morrisville, and from there to go to Israel. And I got a telegram that Daddy is in hospital. And I left Kayla with Morris, that she has to go by herself to the university, and I ran back to Nairobi. I came, he was in hospital, very ill. He was in hospital for a long time. Then we took him home and he recuperated home. And he became better and he started again to run Mombasa, Nairobi, the farm, the this, there, like a machine. I used to tell him, Abraham, you're ill. Stop, stop, stop. Nothing. At one time I said, I want to go to the doctor to see in what stage you are. He said, if you will go to the doctor, I will never talk to you. You have no right to go to the doctor. You ask me and I'll tell you. Nothing wrong. But he was very ill. Then we came to, Kayla went to the university, and she was very popular. Kayla had lots of friends. She was a good scholar. She was comfortable at one time. She had a lot of friends. I don't remember what I want to tell you at one time. Anyway, in the end, I bought something in Kiron for Kayla. And we came to Kayla, and Daddy said, he will be 6 months in Israel and 6 months here. And it didn't work out. It couldn't work out.
Why did you send Kayla to Israel? Did she want to go to Israel?
She wanted only to Israel. Only she was in Johannesburg in a
Youth movement.
yes, I don't remember, in a very old the Goldfields there. And she wanted only Israel. She went to Israel, she went in a kibbutz for 6 months. She worked very hard. She was going in the early morning. They took them with a lorry to cut the oranges and do all kinds of things. 12 o'clock she used to come. And then they came for breakfast, and they went back to work. And she was working very hard. And at one time she had to wash the clothes. I bought her a pair of shoes. There was such a lot of water and such a lot of work that the shoes went like paper like that. At one time she told me she washed maybe 150 plates. Kayla works very hard.
Yeah.
And then that was in the kibbutz, and then the university. Then she met Ellie, and then she decided, they wrote to us, they want to get married. And I came with Abraham, and we came Friday. I came a month before, and I bought for her the flat. Zipporah helped me to find the flat, but they didn't pay. Abraham gave me the money, we had this. We bought there the flat, and everything was all right. And it was I was for a month already. And Abraham came, and the same Friday he died.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the end of it. It was terrible. It couldn't have been worse. That couldn't have been worse. Morris came out from America. It's still on.
Mm-hmm.
Morris came out from America to Israel. Charles came out from England. Life I never forgot. After a month, it was the Shiva Brochel, and we had to put a stone on, and I was running. I couldn't see on my eyes. I was completely out of action. It was terrible. It couldn't be worse. And at one time, they nearly ran me over. I went out. The Lebanons were very good to me. She used to come and stay with me, and if she had to go away, he used to come and stay with me. They never left me for a month by myself. Kayla was at university, but they stayed with me.
Mm-hmm.
And at one time, I went down to the supermarket, just opposite where she had the flat, and the car brushed through me. I could have been killed. I didn't even see there is a car. I don't know how I lived through, how I came back home. Then the decision was that Kayla and Ellie come together to us. They came here and they got the flat next to 11.
Yeah.
And they stayed maybe for a few months, and Ellie said he doesn't want to stay.
Tell us, how were they together?
Very nice, a very nice couple. Ellie, at that time, he was working. He was getting his pay, and he was a good worker. And when he came here, he didn't find anything that interested him. And every time we finished dinner, he used to say, "Lecha lishon, lecha lishon." He didn't want to work. He didn't want to. He wasn't interested in anything.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't his. He did
Live in the United
already born.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a very beautiful child, but she cried day and night. Kayla used to give me a ring in the morning in bed, and she must have been 6 months or a year. Maybe she was already a year. Maybe she was already a year or less than a year, or less than a year. And I used to talk to her. And Kayla said, I can make a stunt to talk. Because I said, Liatinka, this, that, don't shout, you don't leave mommy to sleep. She said, So Kayla said, she's talking to you. And at one night, she was terrible. She cried and cried. Kayla got up to change her. I heard her that she got up, so I also went into the bedroom. Kayla prepared the nappy, and she held her in her hand, and she was very tired, very sleepy, and she said, "To hell!" I started to laugh. I couldn't stop laughing. She said, I've never seen anybody like that in the middle of the night with such a humor. And Liat started to grow up, but she gave them hell. But she was beautiful. Uri was photographing her every time. Every time the photo came out more beautiful. You must have a lot of photos. And then I went to the doctor. I came, I wasn't well. I was in a lot of disorder. And Morris said, let me see your throat.
Mm-hmm. You told us about that. You went to England and
Yeah.
you were operated on.
So I went to Israel to the doctor. He said I must have an operation. I went to England. Morris was there. He went with me to the doctor. And he said I must have an operation. In meantime, the war broke out in Israel in '67. And I was terribly afraid I will get something will happen to Kayla and the family. I started to write to her that I have to have the operation. Straight away she should come out. She answered me, I am driving an ambulance. I am needed for the war. I will not come now, but the war will be a short one, she said. After the war I'll come to you. Wait with the operation. I waited. Surely enough, the war was, I think, a 6-day war. She came back. She came to Israel, to London. I waited for her on the airport with a pram, with Liat. Liat must have been a year only. And she came. I went into hospital. I was operated. We stayed all in a flat. Charles came out. Mariam came out with Charles together. They all brought me back from the hospital. It was a very good operation. The doctor said It is not it's not cancer, it's malignant. It's just a big road as big as a plum. It took down from the
Thyroid.
from the thyroid. And he said, all your life you have to take thyroid pills. I was in England. After 2 weeks, in the middle of the night, I started to be violently ill. Marion and Charles took me to the doctor. I don't remember what was. Taylor was also still there. And they couldn't find what it is. All the night they put me from one X-ray to the other X-ray, from one test to the other test. They didn't know what it is. I was violently ill. My doctor brought me the students, the medical students, to find out what kind of a case it is, that I am violently ill and nobody knows what it is. They thought maybe it's gout, maybe it's something else. I don't remember, but I was in hospital for a longer time. And I recovered. It went away. I came back. Kayla was back to Israel. And I went with the children back to Nairobi. That finished 67.
How did you feel after the war about Israel?
It was wonderful. It was wonderful, the meaning. Eli used to write to me every time, and he sent me badges from the places that they recovered. And it was a feeling of freedom, and a feeling of belongings, and a feeling they were mourning all the dead, but they won the war. And if it wouldn't be for America, that they stopped them to go to Egypt, they would have conquered the war. They would have finished with Egypt, and it would have been. But America and Russia stopped them, if you know. You know about that?
Mm-hmm.
And that was all. Then I started to come to you every year.
When was the first time you went to Jerusalem to see the new city?
To Jerusalem, to the new city, when Liad was already about 3 years. I have pictures. The daddy is playing with her with a ball in that beautiful nurse's garden. All that forest belonged to a mission. And it was a beautiful forest. Through that forest I used to pass and go to the post office. From the forest it was a step.
What was Jerusalem like then?
Very beautiful. Beautiful with a new meaning. People moved in. The Knesset moved in. I went with them for trips. When it was a kind of a holiday, I went with them, and Liat was in the pram. Later on she was already walking, 3 years, 4 years. 4 years, when Liat was 4 years. You were born when Liat was bigger. You were born in 71.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? Because
well, I don't remember, but that's when I was born.
Which year are you?
71.
71. Then I came to your bris.
Mm-hmm.
You were shouting, you were crying at the bris. It was terrible. And the mohel was a very clever mohel, the little piece that he cut off, he threw like this. And it said, which girl will happen, and she will marry that year. And all the girls were got their hands like that to hap. And you were shouting, you were bleeding. Anyway, you were lying in the coach, and mother said that God has given you, that as soon as she looked at you, when you were born, she thought you are something a God sent. You have no idea, she said, how much love it was born in me when I saw it. And she had a lot of worry with you. something was wrong with your feet and you had machines on it. You had such things. You had to go with that to sleep and you had to be with that. I think on what you had a hard life. So you grew up, and then I have pictures that you are about 7 or 8, that you come with me here and you go with me there. You were a very delicate thin little boy. Very delicate. Like you could blow your away. Not like now a giant. But mother loved you still very much. And I used to come every year and used to go to school. And at one time you said, Granny, give me 50 liras. I said, for what? You said, I lent it from a girl and I have to give her back. I gave you the 50 liras. What did you do with that? I needed that, Granny. Okay. And you went to school and you came from school and the war used to come a lot to you and you used to go to the war and the boys were coming after you and you were the boys came into the house and out of the house it was like a station. Then, so you were living there in Kiron at that time. You were born in Kiron. After Kiron, Daddy started to look with Mommy for a house. And you find a house in Yoram. I went with you to see Yoram. I loved it. Daddy also liked it very much. He said, all right, I'm taking the house.